They've been pointing the way for more than 60 years. On Interstate 80 and on the road to Minden, hand-painted signs promising such wonders as antique automobiles and bells of all types. And on each of these signs is one name.
For thousands of years, man lived quite simply. Then, like a sleeping giant, our world was awakened. Man has progressed from open hearths, grease lamps, and ox carts to television, supersonic speed, and atomic power. At Pioneer Village, you'll see the actual development of this astounding progress as it was unfolded by our forefathers and by ourselves.
Harold Warp was born in 1903 in Minden. He moved to Chicago in 1924 to start the company Warp Brothers Plexiglass with his brothers.
They had a patent for greenhouse material that he designed and created himself in Nebraska, which proved to grow bigger, fatter chickens throughout the winter because it allowed the UV rays to come in through the plastic.
He also survived the Depression. A lot of people lost everything they had in 1929, but not Harold. And then in World War II, Warp Plastics had the contract for, if not all, for most of the plexiglass that was used in all the airplanes that we built. And we built 88,000 airplanes in World War II, and they all needed a lot of plexiglass.
By the end of the war, Warp began using his newfound wealth to create Pioneer Village.
He was very, very proud of it. I think perhaps more proud of this than he was in his own achievements. He was sentimental, and that was the basis of the beginning of the museum, stuff bought out of sentiment.
The first purchase Warp made for Pioneer Village? The one-room school he and his siblings attended.
You can see the actual paperwork of when he was a student, including his perfect attendance. The church that was within Minden. The sod house that his parents had built had disintegrated by the time he started the village, so they do have a replica.
All in all, Warp filled 28 buildings with his collections of cars, farm machinery, appliances, and anything else you can think of. Many with descriptions written by Warp himself and organized in chronological order.
His mission for Pioneer Village seemed to be watching the progress through the West, watching how people grew in technology, grew in development in agriculture and cars. He was fascinated with how people changed and developed over the years in all that they did. Didn't seem to be anything that he wasn't fascinated by.
People came from around the country to see Warp's collections. For decades, Pioneer Village was considered Nebraska's most popular tourist attraction, with 150,000 visitors each year.
At one time, I think more people worked for Pioneer Village than for any other single entity in the town. Between that and the number of people that came in and bought gas and went to the restaurants and hung around, there was a lot of money that got left in Minden because Pioneer Village was here.
Today, Monica Miller is the only full-time employee of Pioneer Village. She has worked there for more than 40 years.
I spend a lot of time working with the individual exhibits, new acquisitions, keeping track of where everything is. I wait on customers, I sweep floors, whatever needs done. Visitor attendance has fluctuated over the years and impacted our ability to have everything the way we would like to have it. But I'm still proud of it, even if it is careworn, just like I am.
In the 60s, I-80 wasn't complete. And so Highway 6 was one of the main thoroughfares. It pulled a lot of traffic off of Highway 6. And a lot of people, if they can't see it from the interstate, they're not going to take the time to get off.
In the last few years, there's been a renewed interest in preserving the museum.
People realize you're going to have to start fixing it up pretty soon, or it's going to be too late.
When Harold Warp died in the early 90s, his only son took the reins. But with Harold Jr.'s death in 2020, museum leadership was restructured and is now led by community volunteers. Restoration plans are already in the works.
We're doing some work around the outside in the museum. We are going to change some things around, but basically the museum is going to stay the same.
We have a lot of really good volunteers, but I don't know for how long you can count on volunteers. And so long-term funding is a major issue for us and something that we're really trying to resolve.
There was a period in time where the community was kind of separate from Pioneer Village, and it felt like there were two different things. But now it feels like we're really unified, and the community is really rallying around it.
I think it is a tremendously valuable resource, even if you're not interested in history. There's a family aspect to it that's very, very valuable, and we need that.